Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the morning show with Angel and Tina, and our fabulous guest, Miss Susie Carter, is in the house. How you guys doing?
Oh, I've been waiting for this all week long.
I love it. Me too.
If you guys were on the summit and you heard this woman speak, she dropped some nuggets. I was just taking like as fast as I could, right?
She is so ready for radio. I'm like, you've got all these fabulous little sound bites, all these little juicy nuggets that people remember you by. And I love it, Susie. I'm so glad you're here today.
I'm so glad I'm here. Thank you. First of all, just thank you for what you guys are doing, because we as women need other powerful women leading the charge, showing the way, right? There's so many times that women stay in the background. I'm like, okay, enough of that. Like, we are a force to be reckoned with. It is time. It is our time.
Right.
So thank you for being leaders. Thank you for making it happen. Thank you for just swinging out on the skinny branch, because we all know everything's a risk. It's fun, but it's risky. So thank you for doing it.
Oh, we love it. We enjoy it. We started this 8 weeks ago, I think, to bring, it wasn't just women either. We wanted just to breathe the bright start to your day and just to help everybody be positive during this time. And it just kind of blew up.
We love blow up. Blow up is good. I
right?
think a great testing, right? What I'm seeing in the industry in general is people's character, right? Either rising or falling. And people who said who they were, all of a sudden they aren't being who they are. Their tongue in their mouth and their tongue in their shoe are going in a different direction, right? And so
there's another sound bite, right? Wait, what did you just say? Their tongue in their mouth and their tongue in their shoe are going separate directions?
Yes, you know those people, right? I'm this. Oh, okay. I don't think so. Look, you gotta be consistent, right?
Right.
Especially now, right? Social media, right? Who you say you are, like, just be who you say you are, or not, right? Or just
be authentic,
right? Of the conversation. So I love just your character and watching you guys rise and watching, a lot of businesses rise as well. I think this is a test. Right? People are really questioning, like, why is this happening? Well, it's just a test of your character, a test of your resiliency, a test of how bad you want it, right? Because if it's easy, everyone would do it, right?
Right.
Business, leveraging a business, building a business or brand, whatever you're up to, whatever you're trying to do, right? It takes work, commitment, persistence, and it's not for the faint of heart, Everyone starts.
Being an entrepreneur definitely is not for the faint of heart.
No, but man, it is
like,
so.
It's so glamorous. No, really, you just don't see the stuff in the back end of things.
You get to travel all over the world. Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
And I'm in a random bed by myself in a random hotel in a random city.
And I forget who I am, where I'm at, what city I'm in. I remember Angel a couple months ago. She was like, "Wait, where am I?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
what day is it?"
Yeah.
What city do we like? This city?
What time zone am I in, and what time is my flight? Those are my first two waking thoughts in the morning: is what time zone am I in, and what time is my flight? Susie, what have you been doing to fill this time? Because you were saying, like, some people are rising, some people are not. You are definitely rising. Every time I wake up, like, there you are on my screen, there you are in my inbox, there you are, like, you are everywhere.
It's working.
It is absolutely working.
And it's so funny because we mentioned your name. We're like, "Ooh, let's get her on." I'm like, "Ooh, I love her." And as soon as your phone, Big Brother's always watching. And so all your ads and your stuff are coming through. I'm like, look at that.
I'm watching
But I love it.
Yeah, I have been so crazy busy, right? We pivoted like everybody else. We had, from March on, I had 15 more events for the year, very similar to you guys, right? And looked at, okay, well, the platform's just changed, right? I didn't get upset about it. It was actually kind of nice, right? Really looking at not being in baggage claim, not being on an airplane, to go, oh, how do I pivot inside of this current reality? Right. And I think there's three types of people in this current reality. One, we all have seen them. It's the party people. Woo-hoo, let's have another cocktail.
We're drinking at 9 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. Yeah.
And then there's the people that are just kind of in denial. When is it going to go back to normal? When is it going to go back to normal? We call those the boomerang people. Right. And it is not going back to normal. It'll never be normal. Whatever normal was, it's not going to be that. You know, it's like 9/11, it's like the 2008 stock market crash. It's just a new norm to go, And then the third people, which I believe the three of us are, and a lot of your listeners, which is generals. Let's just get shit done, right? What do I need to do? How do I need to pivot? How do I look at this differently? How do I leverage this time? Everybody's home, right? People are saying, I'm bored. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? How are you bored? I am so busy just serving my clients, right?
Are you busier now than you were?
Crazy busier now than I was. And I was pretty busy, right?
Right? You're like, how did I become busier? And
right. Which I love. But I mean, we love it, or we wouldn't do it, obviously. You know, to be able to I got into service, right? How do I serve my clients? Because they were freaking out. And that helped my freak out. I'm not going to say I have not freaked out during this whole time because I did freak out. But when I freak out, I look at my plan. When I freak out, I look at my, my financial trajectory. Right. When this first started, I cut all the fat and just left the meat, right? Your coaches are the meat. People that are getting you exposure, getting you business, getting you leverage, those are meat, right? That's not fat. The fat is, when you look at your credit card, you have no idea what you spent that 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 on. That's fat, right? Cutting off your cable, that could be fat, right? Looking at getting rid of the things that are not necessity for you to live your life, right? We should be saving money during this time, but people are still, alcohol sales are up, which is very interesting, right? Everyone's getting home delivered Bevmo. I'm not gonna say I haven't been doing that. I do have a home delivered Bevmo, which I'm like, this is awesome.
Are you getting your groceries and stuff delivered too?
No, I have a man that does that, which is very nice. So yes and no. I'm not doing the home delivery, but he's going out and getting it. So that's very nice.
That's like, yeah, Jay has gone to the grocery store. I have not been to the grocery store at all during this time, but Jay goes and Jay takes care of all of that, and he gets out and serves all of that. It has been like everything could be delivered. He's taking care of the house. I've got my son here. It's really, I'm working. I've got Command Central.
Right.
It's really been quite productive, pretty easy, pretty low maintenance, no commuting, not sitting in baggage claim, right? Not rushing off to a flight. I know it's going to open up. I'm really kind of enjoying the way that it has gone. The fact that there were options, right? There were options and we could pivot.
Yeah.
We're just savvy enough to pivot, right? Because a lot of people are still waiting.
Yeah.
I have a client, she has a training company in the beauty industry. And she's like, well, I'm just nervous to do it virtually. I'm like, you got to do it virtually or you're not going to make any money.
You need to do it now. Stop. Don't wait.
Right. Because it's just going to get noisier and noisier. Take care of your clients right now and how we can serve them. And that's really was my whole premise of how do I serve the market the way the market needs to be served, and my market and my niche, and really looking at how do I support them so that they're weathering this storm. I believe leaders need to be the lighthouse in the storm. So how do you be that bright light for people so that they're magnetized to you to support them, right? Coming from, I believe in law of reciprocity, right? It'll get back, the world will give me back what I give out. And so just being tenfold, exactly. So it's been an interesting journey, and I gotta say, it's kind of refreshing. Like I that first quarter, I was like, I don't want to redo this. I've already, I've been in this industry. I'm a little more seasoned. So, I've been in this industry for 30 years. I've already lived on an airplane, lived in hotels, traveled all over the world. I've done that. And to go, how do I do it differently? Right. And we were in the middle of a book launch. And so there was this, tsunami that we created with press and PR and and that was my justification. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have to do it this way. That's like the old school. How can I reinvent my own business? So I was already on the last flight home. I mean, we were in the same event. That was my last event that we did. And I'm like, how do I do this so it's fun again? Because that was just getting a little too taxing and a little too, like, you can only go to a hotel bar, so many times in a month, and you're like, I need a shift.
Right. So what are you telling your clients how are you telling your clients to shift their business?
Depends on the industry, right? So I've got a client that's in manufacturing and they manufacture valves, but their biggest client is the oil, right? And oil sales have dropped, right? Literally the barrel of oil was a negative, which is like, how does that happen? And so just really looking at that industry, kind of looking at where the trend is for that industry, how else can we package what they do for other industries? So that was a completely shift. I have another client that does remodels for restaurants. Well, obviously restaurants are closed, which could have been a great opportunity for, you know, people to remodel.
That to-go type of stuff too, to remodel their structure on how to do the to-go delivery.
But people just freaked out, and some of her clients were big chains that actually went out of business, right? So she just shifted to commercial residence, commercial real estate, and residential real estate, and remodeling those and rehabbing. So it didn't take long, because when you've got a big ship, you have to turn the ship. And I don't know if you know, but like on a really big cruise ship, there's this little tiny thing called the trim tab, and it's about as big as your fingernail, right? Just your baby fingernail. And the trim tab is the thing that turns the whole ship. So you have to look at the little tiny movements inside of what we're up to and what we're doing can make a profound difference. Because without that little tiny trim tab, the ship won't move, right? So it's making little adjustments in your business to go, how do I move this big ship? Whether you're just starting out or whether these clients are multimillionaires, right? To go, but you can't wait. Like one of my other clients is waiting, right? She cut me. I'm like, dude, I'm not fat. I am the meat. You do not want to cut me right now. I promise you, you do not. You think you're saving money, but you're going to lose millions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't save people that don't want to be saved. Right. They just want to scream in the ocean, come save me. Look, I was circling. You weren't listening. You didn't jump in the boat. I was circling.
I sent you a boat. I sent you a helicopter. I sent you all this stuff. You did not jump.
Right.
I love that analogy about the little pinky fingernails, Susie. Jay and I, we love watching the cruise ships turn around, like in dock, like when they're leaving. And my husband actually has a couple, probably several slow motion or whatever time-lapse videos of watching the cruise ships, you know, pull out and turn completely around, like on a dime, right?
Yeah.
And that's that little piece. And you are so correct. It's these little shifts. I've got somebody who has a like they paint cars, an auto body place where they paint cars. And of course, cars aren't getting in accidents right now because they're not out cruising around.
Because we're getting like 3 weeks to the gallon.
Yeah.
Right.
So what else can he use that paint bay for? And so shifting on just, instead of just cars, like what else, what other items and what other residential items, and talking to his clients and having them come in and paint all sorts of fun stuff, right? You can have your patio furniture painted. You can have, right? Even like all sorts of equipment is now being painted because it's like, we can just shift. And what else can we do? But it was like your one, like, well, we just have to wait. Our business is gone. Or it can do something new. It can do something it's never done before.
You can think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Really look at how, what's the need, find the need, fill the need, find the need, fill the need. Every business I've launched 9, by the way. I have 7 multi-million-dollar companies. 2, I'm not going to lie, those first 2, loser, right? I didn't know what I was doing. I got business partners. I'm like, I need a partner. No, that's like going on a date and getting a husband. That ain't happening.
Angel, can you imagine? You're like, oh yeah, I did $9 million multi-million-dollar companies, but the 2, those were losers. Those were multi-million-dollar too, but those were loser ones.
But it's important to go, like it takes something, and every business was started from finding the need, filling the need, finding the need, filling the need. Not how am I going to make money, right? It was like, what's the need in the market, right? And I have a servant heart. I love to serve. Right. And when I started business, I didn't know anything about business. I'm not even going to lie. I just knew I wanted to make a difference, and then had to figure out this thing called business. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because I had to learn the hard way. Bloody elbows, bloody knees, skin face, to go, let's make this fun and easy. Why isn't people teaching this? And this is back in the day, right? There wasn't business women teaching business. It was all taught by men and overweight white men, right? And I'm like, I want to find a woman. I want to find someone that looks like me, at least has shape like me, right? And is cute and playing big. And, so I was like, I need to be that. Okay, I'll be that. If I can't find it, I'm going to be that. And it hasn't always been easy. Yeah. Right? I remember literally, I'm in Omaha, Nebraska doing this show. And the guy introduced me. He goes, if you don't know, back then my name was Susie Fields. If you don't know Susie Fields, this is one pretty lady. I'm like, Bill, did you just say I'm one pretty lady? Like, I appreciate that, but I'm also very smart, and you're going to learn some business here. This is not about how I look. This is about creating some results. Like, really? I'm like,
I wonder who calls somebody the party girl.
I do call you the party girl because you are super fun. You are super fun, but I'm not like introducing you as not when I introduce you as a speaker.
No.
You gotta be fun in business, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're looking at stuff that most people want to poke their needle in their eye.
Right.
Like, Angel, you talking about media and getting out there, people are scared, right? They don't want to be put on the spot. And so they're like, I'm not ready for her. I'm not ready. Let me get perfect before I'm ready for it. No, you don't want to get perfect because then you have horrible habits. You want it now when you don't know. You're hiding from a hole in the ground. Right? Mine, poke a needle in your eye. I'm going to talk about math, right? People are like, math, no, I don't want to talk about. No, math is money and money is fun, right? Who cares about the math? But the money part is really fun. Let's make some money, honey.
Love it. I love it when there's zeros and commas, right?
Right.
Math gets really fun when there's zeros and commas.
Yeah. The more commas, the more zeros, the more fun you can have.
I love it.
Exactly.
And the cuter clothes you can buy.
All the fun stuff. Okay, well, let's introduce Susie. Let's read your bio. Susie, give them a little bit of background about who you are.
It'll probably take you about 5 minutes to do that. So
I'll do an abbreviated version, and we'll get back to all
her bio is just like, you're like, wow.
It is fun. It is fun to see the bios, all the fun things that folks have done. But really, you're gonna want to buy her book before this is all over. So that's
I want to buy her book, and it hasn't even started yet.
Right? And I see it all behind you. It's all.
I know. Are you like reading? I'm like reading all her stuff in the back. I'm like, ooh.
All right. Oh my gosh, I'm choking myself up. All right. So Susie Carter started out as a low-paid hairdresser trying to support her 2 little girls. And of course, working for somebody else became a challenge, to say the least. And she decided to do whatever it took to create her own business. And after much blood, sweat, and tears, she says, mixed with cheap mascara, she went on to create not one, but 2 $10 million companies. Her core genius is the ability to simplify complicated issues by creating simple, proven systems that are guaranteed to create dramatic growth for any company. She's helped over 100,000 entrepreneurs increase their revenues by more than 3,000%. All these zeros in here, right? She's worked with top business moguls, and a whole long list of top business moguls, and I know she'll share some of those with us today. And her newest book, her 10th book, is Power Your Profit. It's a bulletproof start to finish plan for taking your business from startup mode to the multi-million-dollar mark. Susie Carter is in the house. Woo!
Well, yeah, give her a round of applause.
Look,
Okay.
I have a clapper on my desk because when I need a hand and I do something great,
I love it.
Give yourself a round of applause.
I love it. I love it.
You're like,
I have a little post-it note full of stuff that we need to start getting and having for ourselves, Angel.
We
And
do.
we need a morning show clapper is one of them, or
like
a bling one.
A bling you one. I did order the microphone that you sent me.
yes, did you love that?
I didn't order mine. Did you get the hot pink one?
I got the pink one. I just ordered it yesterday. That was just yesterday, right? Yeah. It's only, was today Wednesday? Today's
Thursday.
Thursday.
I feel
You know
you,
why?
girl.
Because
I
we
don't know what day it is, what
We
time.
missed Monday.
I know, but we had a week. We had a week on Tuesday.
Right.
Totally. Susie, what I love the list is long about what we love about Susie but the myths, like you even talked about, even during this pandemic, like, so those that are rising up and those that are not, the statistics of small business owners that don't even hit 6 figures, right? They don't even break the 6-figure mark. Like 90-something% don't even break that 6-figure mark. And yet here you are running circles, creating $10 million companies, not once, not twice, but over and over and over again.
But those 2 were loser companies. So
I'm telling you got to have the failure to get to the success, right? If I would have quit, just think about how many times do you quit when success is right around the corner, right? And you don't know when it is. That's the test, right? I believe in God, and I am where I am because I have a really strong faith. And look, sometimes you freak out because you don't hear God. Well, any good leader, any good teacher is quiet during a test. Testing your resiliency, testing your faith muscle, testing your tenacity, testing, are you passionate about this? Right? So don't take the silence or the struggle as bad or wrong. Take it as the test for the resiliency to go, oh, it's come this way so that I can see what I'm really made of. And those times that I failed, right, it was truly just silliness. I picked business partners because I was scared to do it alone. And I see that happen a lot with entrepreneurs is they're like, oh my God, I'm going to get into business with this person. Like, hold up, wait a minute. Do you guys know that song?
Hold up, wait a minute.
Oh, she does.
It's a chopper. I know, because I got kids right there.
Right? Yeah, that's the reason I know it too.
Yeah, sure.
So when you look at those failures gave me the resiliency to go, okay, right, I can do this on my own. Because having partners wasn't easier, it was 10 times harder. Because now you're fighting this opposing force, right? And if your beliefs aren't aligned, your values aren't aligned, whatever kind of partnership, a relationship, a romantic relationship, business relationship, even a strategic relationship, I have to have that synergy and alliance, right? Yeah. I want to work with people that I'm in collaboration with, not competition with. And there's so many businesses that you can work in collaboration with, right? And so many people like want to hold their stuff close, like, well, this is my client. No, it's not your client. They're going to get so bored of you. Bring them other people. Bring them exposure to who are the other badasses in the industry. Don't make them figure it out on their own. And we all know the people who are the real deal, because we're out there, we're on the road, we're seeing, their tongue in their mouth and their tongue in their shoe are going in the same direction or different directions, to go, oh, let me help you. Let me help you. You don't want to go to that. You don't go down that tunnel. That tunnel's dark and lonely. Go down this one. There's a light. Oh.
That sounds like you, Angel. Tina, no. Stay on this path right here.
Exactly. That's a good coach, right?
Right?
We always say a really good coach will tell you what you don't want to hear.
Right.
The coach will show you what you don't want to see so that you could be the person you knew that you could be. Mm-hmm. Right. Our jobs are not to be liked. My job is to be respected. Right. But it's not to be liked, because if you like me all the time, I'm not pushing you out of your comfort zone. I'm not pushing you into the unknown. My client, I asked her for a P&L. She goes, I just hate you. Okay.
Okay, but still send me the P&L.
Please send me a P&L. Okay, and send me the detailed one. I need to see where that money is going, right? She's like, I don't even like you. Well, if you don't have your P&L to click a button, then I'm really upset with you. You go, oh, I should be able to have that instantly. You need it right now? Let me send it to you right now. Not like, oh, let me get it ready. That's not how you run a business. You can't get ready. You got to be ready, stay ready, right? Locked and loaded.
Oh. And knowing the numbers, I think this is critical too. You've got to know your numbers. You've got to be following it. Like, this is where we're having fun and it's all exciting, but this is how it ends up as a hobby, because you're not tracking your numbers. You're not paying attention to the bottom line.
Mm-hmm. Well, 15% of our financial success is based on our technical ability or our vocation. Right. So 15% of your guys' success is this. This is the fun stuff, right? Oh my God, I get to talk to Les Brown. I get to talk to Susie. I get to talk to Bill Walsh. I get to talk to all these names. But the reality is, if we're not focused on the 85%, you can't do the fun stuff, right? That's how are we following up? How are we leveraging this moment? Because it's a moment, right? So if you get interviews, if you get press, if you get on a summit, if you get in like that, this is a moment. How do you ride that moment and leverage that moment? How are you really monetizing that? Let's make a moment a season, so that it's not a one and done. It's not your 30 seconds of fame. It's really looking at, I got to capitalize. I got to keep that momentum going, keep that, I say build the tsunami of what's happening in your business, and constantly be doing it. It's not, I'm watching clients just waiting for the contract. No, don't wait for the contract. Go put another one out. Go get another proposal. Go keep having conversations. If you're waiting for the one, you're going to get none, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to stay in radical action, especially in this time. Go back and wait for it to happen. You got to make it happen.
It is, and it is radical action. And Susie, you walk the walk, right? Because you are out there leading the charge, showing them, being that leading example for that many companies. Like, how did you, how do you decide? Okay, it's
tell us all of your tips and tricks.
Right, it's time to go. That one's done. Now I'm going to pour into, and it's time to create an even bigger legacy and elevate even more than what you have done. How do you make that shift? How do you make that pivot mentally?
Well, the first one, it helps when you were broke, right? I was broke. So that helps. Like I had a hunger that was like a hunger like nobody had. You know, I grew up in a very large family. There was 9 of us, 9 kids. Bobby, Ronnie, Stevie, Terry, Joni, Shelley, Susie, Kelly, Debbie, right? We were in a military family. My dad was
Wait, say what?
Bobby, Ronnie, Stevie, Terry, Joni, Shelley, Susie, Kelly, Debbie. They like the IEs.
So you were a military brat too.
We were, yes, absolutely.
Were you a Navy
Did you
brat?
see that my posture, I really got straight. I'm like,
Right?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So we grew up poor. So my dad, the gift my dad did give me is he said, Sue, you can have whatever you want, just go get a job. Right. So early on, from 12 years old, 10 years old, babysitting, washing cars, washing windows, cleaning a house, whatever I had to do to buy my own damn underwear. I'm not even gonna lie, to buy my own damn underwear, because when you have that many kids, you have 6 girls, everything is a hand-me-down. And I mean everything. And I'm like, I just want my own underwear. I was in Victoria's Secret and going, what is my fascination with underwear? Like, I don't need anymore. You know, like
That's why. That's why.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. So now I've learned to tailor the underwear.
And so now you have 3 drawers of underwear.
I do. Like all that La Perla, right? Victoria's Secret, anything that I'm like, I don't need anymore. I'm like, I'm good. I got the nice underwear. That's good.
It's all my own. Nobody else has ever worn it. Well, not, you know.
Yeah, well, when you come to 6 girls, like, I had to hide
into a
those.
different kind of show this morning.
So really it started out just wanting to provide for myself and take care of myself and figure out how to do it. Right. I didn't understand the business piece of it. I understood, you know, the vocation. So I was a hairdresser, you know, and you said that in my bio. And as a hairdresser, I found myself repeating the patterns. We all repeat patterns of our parents until you really start working on yourself. So I found myself in this abusive relationship, but that's what I knew love was. Love was screaming and yelling and hitting, right? Love was, if you're, you know, mean to me, oh, you must love me. If there's no drama, you don't love me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God. And so I remember, you know, being in this volatile relationship and watching my children watch me. Mm-hmm. And I went, I can't do this. I can't watch what my mother went through. I can't put my children through this. Like I was in the fight for my life. And I just had a baby. She was 6 months old. So I had an 18-month-old and a 6-month-old. And I said, I gotta go. And, you know, he looked at me and I remember the day he said, look at yourself in the mirror right now, because you will never, ever have more than you have right now. Oh, watch me. Mm-hmm. Do not tell me. Do not try to be the boss of me.
Challenge accepted.
Exactly. Never looked back. So I had a really big drive. So I left, no child support, no alimony, right? I had my license as a hairdresser and went, I got to provide for my children. And so I did whatever it took to not have to, I didn't have family to ask for help because there's 9 of us. You know, when you were 18, you moved out. You know, I was, you know, a little rebellious. So I moved out when I was 17, like, I'm almost 18, I'll just move now. Right?
Oh, Susie, you and I have the story almost identical.
Running for my life, right? I'm like, I could do way better than this situation. So I've always had that fight and that tenacity and, you know, had back in the day, because again, I'm a little more seasoned, right? I'm spicy, but I'm seasoned. And so my mentors, you know, were books. Right? I'm an advocate of education. The more you learn, the more you earn. And so I didn't have money for a coach. If I needed to understand marketing, I went to a marketing class or went to the library and got a book. Right? Went to the used bookstore. I loved books. I loved reading. I'm a voracious learner. Right? So it's not mentioned in my bio, but I have my PhD, you know, which is my public high school diploma.
I love when she said that the other day. I kind of like skipped through my head and I went, wait, what did she say? Oh my God, I gotta write that down.
Write that down. Some people get caught up on what's your piece of paper. Look, I have an amazing education. It's just not traditional, right? We grew up with 9 kids. There was no conversation about go get a college degree. It was get out, get married, get a job. I'm like, I could do it. I'm good at that. So, challenge accepted. I had a horrible picker. I didn't know how to pick. Now I'm much better at my picker. My picker is much better. I've had more success, after that relationship. So I had to learn how to build this thing called business for survival, right? When you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that first level is survival, food, shelter, clothing. And so I was head down, food, shelter, clothing. And then once I had food, shelter, clothing, then you want security. Like, okay, now I can feed my children. I can feed myself. Now, okay, what do I need to do just so I'm secure for my emotional well-being, my physical well-being, my children's well-being? My children really propelled me to be the woman I am, right? And I know that sounds really cliche, but my survival mechanism of not wanting my children to experience what I experienced, from verbal abuse to physical abuse to sexual abuse. My mother didn't protect me, right? So I became this mama bear, like, you will not touch my children, right? My children will never experience that or see that. Now they're going to counseling for other things. I'm just saying.
But that's not one of them.
That's not one of them. Look.
It may be me, but that's not one of them.
I work a lot, so whatever.
How old are you?
They had a home over their head. They have an amazing lifestyle. They've traveled all over the world because of the work that I've chosen to do. So they've had a different lifestyle.
How old are they now?
Oh, girl, look, I'm seasoned. So my oldest is 34. My youngest is 32. And the oldest is just pregnant, so she's going to have a baby. My youngest has 2.
Are you going to be a grandma?
We don't call that name because this is not a grandma.
Oh, okay. Are you going to be what are you going to be? A glamma? Oh, Gigi. I'm going to be a Gigi too.
Yeah, so I'm a Gigi. So I have 2 other, look, I don't even know what to call them, but I am Gigi. I don't know what they are. Those are my daughter's children.
The daughter's children, because I don't have grandchildren, because that would make sense. Right? That's not possible.
Right. So my one girlfriend says grand loves. They're my grand loves. I'm like, okay, I like that. It just, I remember my grandma. I don't know if your grandmas were like this, but my grandma had stark white hair, huge boobs that went down to her knees, her little moo with her snot rags in them. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not what I am.
That's not me.
That's not what this is. So, I love them. I love, who they are now, and who they are as women now is inspiring. My oldest is an equity investor for one of the largest firms in Los Angeles. The youngest is an entrepreneur. She's a medical esthetician, and an amazing mom. And just to see like your children be these amazing women, I'm like, okay, I did something right. I broke the pattern. I broke the pattern of abuse. I broke the pattern of, verbal abuse and physical abuse. And to me, that I don't care how much money I've made. That's the biggest gift. And if I can help other women, other people that are in similar situations, I don't care what the situation is, like, you can rise up. You don't have to have that as your sentence. Rise up, choose, choose, right? I don't have a formal education, but I have an amazing education, right? I've taken companies public, so I had to learn about the SEC and all the rules in that, and that's a big deal, right? And to be able to get a company passed, to go public is huge, right? And Lisa Nichols is my client that we did that with. And for both of us, we both have our PhD, right? And so for both of us just going, we're going to do this. And we may not know how to do it, but we know people who know how to do it. And so how do I'm a great coach because I'm an amazing student. And I will sit at the feet of people that I respect and that have done it before me, right? I think that's where people need to look at, choose your coaches wisely, right? Because again, look at the results that they've created. And can you align with that? Or does it cost them something? Has it cost them their family? Has it cost them their integrity? Has it cost them? Because we've all seen those people as well, where it's like, okay, you're successful, but I don't want it at that cost,
right?
Whatever that cost is. Now my business and my career has cost me things in my life, right? I was on an airplane a lot when my kids were little. But I really looked at, when I raised my children, of quality versus quantity. So the quality time I spent with my family versus I'm with you every single day, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
And not
in
paying attention to
cases,
them.
right?
Yes.
Cases, I think that they're looking at us and they're seeing us follow our dreams, and they're seeing us have challenges and fall down and get back up and figure out stuff that maybe we didn't know, but we surrounded ourselves. Like, I thought, even though I wasn't always there, and there's that guilt, like when I'm working, I feel like I should be at home with but when I'm at home, I feel like I should be working.
Right.
But I felt like it made me a better mom. Like
Yeah.
they had to learn some independence, right? They had food, shelter, and love, right? We would tease about that. You have food, shelter, and love. There's a little bit of independence. And now that they're adults, they're seeing what it takes, like, to really live life, right? And make stuff happen.
I know, I love it now because my daughter's like, Mom. I'm like, I told you, this shit's hard.
Right? Mom, you did this.
Right.
Susie, I have a question from a viewer. She said, as a single mom, what advice would you give somebody now?
So one is really get your plan clear. Like, don't just jump. Put a plan in place to look at, if you want to build a business, right? Where's the revenue going to come from? The thing I didn't know how to do, I didn't know how to price my services. I made it up like everybody else. I'm like, what does Tina charge? What does Angel charge? And then you go, I'm going to charge this. And you pull out this magic number out of the magic place. But I will say, magic does come out of there every now and then. But, you know, there's a system for putting
I'm surprised she could do this in like glitter fluid.
I like that. If I didn't have to clean it up every day, I would do that. Oh my God, that's hilarious. So put your plan in place. Find a great coach, right? And really start with a business coach. People try to get to, you know, Angel first. Like, I'm just going to get PR. Well, what are we going to do once you get it? Like, you don't have infrastructure in place. You don't have a plan in place. You have no follow-up system. You have no fulfillment system. So wait a minute. I definitely agree. That's part of it. But, right, what are those things that are going to keep that client there? And really looking at your financial plan. And know that as a mom, I think we just have more tenacity, right? Because we're multitasking, we're able to compartmentalize, we're able to do a lot of things. So look at it as a blessing to go, how do I work up in this time frame, right? We have to be efficient because we have a little bit of time frame, right? And then you go, okay, kids are in bed, let me do this in this time frame. So just don't give up on the dream, whatever the dream is. Find what you love. Find what you love as if you would do it for free, because we have all done this for free. Tina's done it for free. Angel's done it for free. I've done it for free, but did it because it was so fulfilling. And then I went, how do you pay for that? How much do you pay for that?
Yeah. So how do you tell your clients, how do you price your products so you're not pulling the glitter out of your backside? Yeah.
So I've created a bunch of spreadsheets, and in the beginning of my career, I created them for me because I would sit with my, CPA, my bookkeeper, and they would go, okay, so here's your P&L. You have an accrual and a cash. The accrual says you have money. The cash says you have no money. So here you go. And I'm like, so do I have money or not? And they're like, well, you do, but you don't. So I'm like, okay, how much money do I need to make? And quit telling me I have money if I don't have money, because that's really confusing. So I started creating these spreadsheets so that I could understand it. And I have something called the base price worksheet, which allows you to look at based on your overhead and profitability, because profitability is planned. Like, if you're listening to that, you need to know profitability is planned. It's not what's left over, because we all know there's nothing ever left over.
Hashtag Susie Nugget.
Right. You're not planning for it. It is not going to happen. So the base price worksheet looks at your overhead, looks at your capacity, looks at your profitability, and then we come up with a number. Now, I learned this early on owning the salon, because we were one of the highest priced salons in our community, right? Because you go, oh, what the market will bear. So at that time, this is, over 20 years ago, right? A haircut was $45, which back then was crazy, right? The average haircut was $12 and we're charging $45. And so we had $1 million business, but we weren't profitable. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? Right? We looked at all the indicators. We were looking at profitability per square foot, per person. And it all boiled down to our base price. You need to create your pricing based on your weakest link. See, when we first start business, we're the superstar. So we base our pricing on what we do. Well, what you do is completely different than the average person, because the average person is not going to be you, or they would be running their own company. And so Candace was our weakest link. So Candace continually undercharged, gave things away. So we had a couple of those people. So our base price was not set up for our business to be profitable. You had to do multiple services. You had to sell multiple things. in order for the business to hit profit. And so it was only $5, right? So every client that came in, we lost $5. But $5 over 365 days was about $70,000. So it didn't matter how much money we made, we were always losing money. And so I'm like, I have to understand this, because it's not enough for you to tell me that we're just not, because you get pushback. Well, we can't charge that. Okay, then just go out of business now, right? My client's like, I can't charge that. Okay, then shut your business. Like, okay, I'm not going to fight you on that. If you don't, whatever you think you are, you're absolutely correct. If you think you're worth it, great. If you think you're not worth it, great. But don't have me fight for what needs to be profitable, right? Don't have me have to fight for you. You have to see that to go, this business will not work based on your pricing model. And most businesses set up their business based on pricing. To go, I'll just be cheaper than Tina. I'll just be cheaper than Angel. I'll be cheaper than Susie. Okay, you'll also be out of business, right? So it's really looking from that formaic standpoint. And so my clients, I would, I'm like, well, I have this spreadsheet because I felt stupid, right? I felt stupid. That's why I created these spreadsheets. And then my client's like, well, can I have that spreadsheet? Will you just that? I'm like,
where do you get that spreadsheet at?
Right? Well, I give you 6 of my spreadsheets as a bonus when you buy the book, because I, again, want to take the scary stuff out and go, let me make this so you understand it. So it's not this mystery, right? Because business can be such a mystery. Pricing can be such a mystery. Your financial plan can be so challenging. When you look at some of the software that you're purchasing, I'm like, I don't need to know that. I just need to know how many units every day, right? What's the number I need to hit? What are my expenses? How do I keep those in line, right? In line, right? And especially right now, let's cut the fat, not the meat. The meat is people that are helping you get your business in place. The meat is your software. The meat is your client retention strategies. The meat is your publicity. Because if you cut all that, it's gone, right? You got to keep, especially now, you got to get seen, get heard to get paid.
I wrote that down.
You have said that 3 times.
Quoting you. We've been quoting Susie Carter all week long. Okay, Susie, let's talk about the book, because we're getting towards the end, and I want people to get the book.
Everybody's asking, where do we get the book? Where do we get the book? Where do we get the book?
So you can go to the website, which is poweryourprofitsplural.com. And you want to go there, right? You'll go there because you'll get $3,000 worth of bonuses. So you'll invest $28 to get $3,000. Where else can you get that ROI but your profit coach? I'm just saying. Right? And so you get 6 of my fancy work spreadsheets that I created for me, right, that simplify it. So we have the financial plan, we have the base price worksheet. I give you what we call the turn ratio to really look at how many qualified clients do I need to bring in order to hit profit, right? Because we go, oh, I just need 10 clients. Yes, but how many leads do you need to get those 10 clients, right? You need about 100 qualified leads to get those 10 clients. And if you don't know that number, you're going to go, I had 10 appointments, I didn't close anything. You need 100 qualified to close 10. Qualified means they can afford you, right? They're going to do what you say. That's qualified. So you want to look at, you have a lot of fans. Fans aren't customers, right? Fans aren't customers, right? I've got, about 250,000 people in my social media, but that's not customers. Those are fans. And you need fans, right? Because fans give notoriety. Fans, when you're being interviewed, that's all important, but they're not customers. So how do you turn those fans into customers? That's the system. That's the step, right? This is really 30 years in the making of how do you build a multi-million-dollar company? Only 1% of business owners hit the $1 million mark. And that's gross. That's not net, that's gross, which is gross, right? I want you to, 1%. I want you to hit that mark, but I also want you to be profitable, right? So really planning for profit. Everything in the book is about how do I create a profitable business? Now we're looking at sales, marketing, operations. It's not some statistician book. Poke a needle in your eye. I even go there, but I try to make it fun, right? I give you case studies. I laugh at myself. Like, let me tell you my story. Because I think that's where you learn. What's that?
Let me tell you how I did it wrong.
Right. Because you learned in the valley, not on the mountaintop, right? Don't buy real estate when you're in the valley. Just be in the valley and go, okay, I'm in the valley. Let me start climbing the hill again. Right. And I think that's where you asked early, how do you just keep reinventing? How do you keep building businesses? It's like, I just keep climbing to go, what's the next? What's the next? What's the next? right? I think God has given me that hunger for life, hunger for the next challenge, right? Look, when I got married to my husband,
My husband.
my grandma pulled him aside on the wedding day. She goes, I don't know why you're marrying her. She don't listen.
He's like, oh, I know.
Say that on the wedding day. She's like, well, you don't, honey. I'm just trying to warn him. I'm like, okay, not on the wedding day.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for that, though.
I'm like, all right, I am a tough nut. I want to learn on my own terms, right? I don't want to be told
in San Diego. All those girls in San Diego are all tough nuts. We had to be.
Right. So I think if, you know, growing up in a large family, you have to be, right? It's the survival of the fittest, but it's built my character, right? It's not on the mountaintop that your character is built. It's in the valley that your character is built. Like, will you truly be the stand of who you say you are when it's hard, right? And you don't build this many companies and not have hardship.
Right. But this is where we're at, right? For a lot of people, right? This is the valley. This is the hardship that we are going through right now, where we might have been flying high and we had everything. And then the bottom dropped out, right? All the events, all these, you know, clients are closing, businesses are shutting down. And so we are all in that valley, but like we're watching Susie, like you have climbed up. This book came out during this valley time, and look what it has done and opened up doors for so many people. Power Your Profits, right?
PowerYourProfits.com.
PowerYourProfitsBook.com.
Okay, PowerYourProfitsBook.com.
Yeah.
Power Your
You
Profits.
want to get it there. I mean, you can get it on Amazon and Books A Million, but you can't get the $3,000 with the bonuses, right? Which is, that's what you want.
Right.
Again,
I want to know what do you have flagged? Like, this is your book, and you even.
I know. I want to know what. Can you open those pages there?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so, you know, these are my little genius pages, right? Some are stories. So, of course, I have Math is Money, Money is Fun. But I have a systematic sales process that I've been using for 25 years that gets a client from here and gets them here to the decision, right? It doesn't always have to be yes. I just want you to get a decision, a powerful yes and powerful no. Powerful no is just as good as a powerful yes. Because I don't want to keep following up with you if you have no intention of playing with me, right? So that's something called the stair step questions, which, oh my God, game changer. Every time I'm on a discovery call, sales call, I pull it up because we're coaches. Yeah. So I pull up my stair step questions and I follow the questions because I'm a coach. I want to start coaching. It's not time to coach when you're selling. It's time to sell when you're selling, not coaching when you're selling. Because we want to try to prove, I'm going to prove how good I am. Right. The other one, Math is Money, Money is Fun, because most people have a really hard time determining and being okay with learning this thing called business finance. Right. It can be.
A lot of women are intimidated by it too, right? Like,
well, it's a masculine energy. Money is a masculine energy. So I've done so much work around this conversation because I was great at making millions, but I was really good at spending millions. So I came to this point of like, I got to get a hold of this because it does not make sense if I'm just negative at the end of the year. It doesn't matter how many zeros you have if you're not building your wealth, right? I always say wealth is your birthright. And it's something that we choose, especially as entrepreneurs. So it's managing that conversation. But money's masculine. So if you got any kind of man issues, girl, you got to work on the money, right? Because unless you complete those relationships, and I realized that I was having an issue just with my dad trying to prove how smart I was and how good I was. And, you know, because I was the loud kid. And my dad on his deathbed said, why did they pay you all that money for that business? And I'm like, well, because Dad, I'm really good at what I do. And, you know, I help people build businesses. And he's like, yeah, but you? And so I realized like, he just can't see me for who I am in the world. He just sees me as this rebellious child that, you know, pushed the envelope, but that's what makes me successful is I push the envelope and I push everybody else's envelope and I make you push the envelope to go, let me be different. Let me question, because the answers lie in the questions, right? It's not in getting the answer. It's what is the question? And right now there's a lot of questions. Keep asking the questions because there's your answer to go, how do I make money in this market? Keep asking that question. I promise you, the universe will provide that. God will provide that. We'll start to see a clear path of what your destiny is, right? Every time I've asked that question, I just got chills, right? Every time I ask that question, God provides, right? I'm very faith-based. So you call it whatever you want. I believe that my gift from God was my life. My gift back to God is what I do with my life and the difference that I make for other people in my life. So what is that difference that you were put here? Because we were all put here for a divine purpose. So what's your purpose? Live inside that purpose. That's going to give you fulfillment. That's going to give you purpose, like to play a bigger game versus I got a job. Nobody wants a freaking job, right? We all want something to leave that legacy behind. And like life's too short. Go play big, or go home.
Okay, so did you write down her 100 sound bites that she has said in that last hour?
I get to, so one of the things that we had her on the summit the other day, and so I was going through the recording yesterday so I could make sure we send out the virtual gift bag, and I was looking through everything, and I got to hear you again, Susie, yesterday from the summit, and you just have this way of pouring into people, sharing your story, sharing your energy, getting them excited about math and numbers. And so this is like the third time I've heard you speak this week. And I'm still taking notes, right? I'm still taking notes. I can't wait to read your book. I will be ordering that this afternoon.
I know, me too.
Thank you. Order one for a friend.
Fabulous.
They're great gifts for clients, right? When you look at, because if we don't harness this, they can't keep paying us, right? To go, I'm so passionate about this because it I think business and finance is like, remember in school, you had that padlock.
Yeah.
Remember? One little tick off, 26, 42, 26. If you did 25, 43, 25, it won't open, right? If you have one little tick off, it's not going to open. And so this really unlocks the code of your financial prosperity in your business. All roads lead to money. All roads lead to money. It's not just a finance
piece of paper, Angel.
I know, so think about, she should have little promotional items that are padlocks.
You have the Post-its where every single day you can rip one off, a sound bite.
Yeah, like the calendar of the day, right? The sound bite from Susie. You are
a Carter calendar of the year.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from you guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
Look, I'm just passionate about what I do, right? This is not a shtick. This is who I am. If you've seen me, I'm pretty darn consistent. I had a client, we were on a call last week. She goes, Susie, I've been following you since 2013. And I kicked myself that I did not sign up for your program then. Because I watch you and I watch you consistently transform people's lives and people's business. And I just needed you to prove to me. But how many years do I need you to prove to me?
Yeah.
To go, look, we know we're intuitive, right? We're smart business people. Allow your intuition and your brain to guide you. Like make business decisions based on what the result that you want to create, right? If you want to get press, then you need to hire someone like Angel that's an expert in that. It doesn't magically happen. It's a freaking formula. And when you understand the formula, it unlocks the padlock, right? To start getting the ideal client, not just fans. Nobody wants fans. I know you need fans, but nobody wants them. At the end of the day, we're trying to get fans to get clients. Right. And then once you get them, how do you retain them? There's a strategy, right? It's all strategy. And people are just going, oh, she's just lucky. No. I'm smart. I just follow a formula. Our launch year was last year, right? So I've worked with Lisa for 10 years. I had my own business, ran her company, took it from 80,000 to 10 million, right? So that's not proof in the pudding. And so I just followed the formula. So we did $1.3 million our first year with no database. No following. I had 5,000 friends on my Facebook page, right? That I never talked to because it wasn't like I was building Lisa's company. And to be able to do that in a launch year is ridiculous, right? To go with no database, right? So we have 12,000 people on our database and we did $1.3 million. And all that was created from this tsunami, created from launching, creating from getting with the right strategic partner to get the results that you want. So it's all strategy. So know that there's no sprinkle fairy dust, right? We're fun, like we make business fun, but the reality is it's a strategy, it's a system, and we want to help you with the system. And I say we collectively because it's a power team, right? This doesn't happen. I don't do PR, right? I don't do client fulfillment. I say you have to have that. You got to manage that. You got to leverage that, but you got to have the right team in place to do that.
I gotta watch this again. Like I'm gonna upload it to my YouTube channel and just watch it again so I can just take notes because I'm just like
And this is why Susie has so many fans. This is because, and the proof is in the pudding. You're watching her. She's doing it. She's doing it over and over again. When you're going to work with
authentic, you
a
know,
profitability coach
on stage as she's off stage, and she's on the show and she's on the summit. She's that same person.
right? But she's walking that walk. She's done it. You want to hire a coach. You want to work with somebody that is done it, is doing it, and has the proof in the pudding, has the results. And that's what Susie Carter brings to the table. You are the whole package, my darling.
And a bag of chips, baby.
Right? And a little sprinkle fairy dust and a whole lot of sprinkles. Okay. PowerYourProfitsBook.com. PowerYourProfitsBook.com. Grab her free goodies, her generous goodies.
$1,000 worth of goodies.
Follow her on social media, get connected, plug in. I know you've got some great events. I think, when's your next like little juicy little class that you've got going on?
June 26th, 27th, 28th. It's the Big Money Business Summit. So that is, I've got 20 experts that are coming on that are all students, right? Because I believe the proof's in the pudding, that watch what they've built in the time that they've worked with me and me coaching them inside their business. It's all about sales, marketing, finances, building a multi-million-dollar brand. If you don't want to build a multi-million brand, don't come. I want to play with game changers, right? I want to play with people that are like, I get it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to invest in it.
And is
Benjamin Franklin says, take the coins from your purse, invest them in your mind, and your mind will fill your purse overflowing. But you got to take action. You got to take radical action.
Radical action. All right. Fabulous, fabulous. Susie, thanks so much for being with us today. We're going to wrap this show up, put it in a bow. We put a little bow on it. I'm Angel Tuccy. I am your media exposure specialist. Grab your complimentary media guide if you're looking to get booked on TV, radio, magazines, get more people to say I've heard of you, create visibility and exposure, plug in to Media Mastery. And you can do that by starting with your complimentary guide at makeyourbigimpact.com. Makeyourbigimpact.com. We're so excited to have you guys here with us today. Tina?
I am Tina Torres, a client retention expert, helping you keep those clients for a lifetime, turn those clients into raving fans, and increase your cash flow without adding a single new client. And you can get your free 7 ways to increase your cash flow right now by texting the word connection to 26786. That's the word connection to 26786. You can get your 7 ways to increase your cash flow. And we are Angel and Tina in the morning on the morning show. Thank you so much, Susie Carter. You are amazing. I cannot wait to read your book. And we come to you every weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We will see you guys tomorrow when we have a fabulous couple who are putting on, I forgot the name of it, some live thing. I'm going to be speaking on it with Jack Canfield and Les Brown and Kevin Harrington and Forbes Riley. So big, big, big stuff. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.